This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Hello, my name's Harry Tambuadco. Welcome to our program. Every first Monday of the month, as I said about some 2-3 weeks ago, we will dedicate this to joining what we call the Citizen National Guard. Now, what am I doing? Yes, I'm biased. Am I biased for a specific government administration or any specific social whatever? Yes, to a certain extent. I'm biased towards my country, the Philippines. I'm biased towards what is good, not what is bad, not what is said on fake news or fake media, but what is morally correct. The Citizen National Guard is a combination, a group of people that have put together whose morals, whose values are directly for the country, not specifically an administration. So if you are sitting there and you're not sure exactly where you stand, or you're pro-Duterte, or you're pro-yellow, or you're pro-communist, or whatever it is, know where you stand and know what you want to do. You know, there's a saying that when you're socially out with friends, the two topics you don't talk about is religion and politics. Why is that? Did you ever try to figure it out? Is it because you can't seem to agree or disagree on anything? This is the way I look at that. This is my take. If you care about your religion and you have the faith and it is correct, there will be no shaking. There will be no shaking. There will be no insecurity. You know exactly where you stand and who your God is. And if anybody tries to talk to you and talks against you or your faith, you will stand up for it. Now, if you are not a body politic and you don't care about any politics whatsoever, then maybe the real problem is you, because your responsibility to your country is to be a body politic. So, if you are friends with people who don't share the same politics or don't share the same religion or faith, well, you've got to realize where you stand. For a while, I was perplexed. I wasn't sure which way to go. I made up my mind. I share my time, I break my bread, and drink my wine only with those that share my politics and my faith. That's okay. If you don't have any advocacy, you don't care, you just want to live off the state and don't care about your values, well, you know what? Why don't you just go to the mountains, join the communists? Because that's exactly what they are. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about join the Citizen National Guard. With us, we have Butch Valdez, who you know, who's been a host here on GNN some time ago and carries a show. He's also the Secretary General, if I'm not mistaken, or co-founder in the Philippines of the La Rouge Society. He also is the lead convener of Save the Nation movement. We also have Horacio Tocayo, Harry Gonzalez, also from LaSalle, who is likewise a convener. Hello, gentlemen. Salamat, narito kayo. Tumagal ng konting intro ko doon, ano? I really wanted to talk about that thing about yung if you don't share the same faith tsaka same politics, di ba miski relative mo, ang hirap.
Right.
Biro mo, lalabas kayo, you're gonna have a drink, or you're gonna play golf, or you're gonna have dinner. Anong pag-uusapan nyo? Si Trump? Di ba? Politics na rin yun eh. Anong pag-usapan nyo? Science? Pwede, no? Ba't sinong binobola mo? if you don't share the same God, ang hirap, Muslim kausap mo, respect his religion.
Absolutely.
Pero may hirap yung magkakasama kayo, close friends. Now, to be civil with each other is to be civil. But to be close to each other as ibang religion, abangga. Tingnan mo born again, walang ginawa kundi, pare, sali ka sa amin. Kantahan tayo doon, di ba? Parang ganun eh. Gentlemen, what is the CNG and why should people participate? Ikaw muna, Butch.
Well, the CNG, Citizen National Guard, is an organization that, sprouted sometime January, actually.
This year.
This year, when friends that of like minds and also those that have been listening to us and Save the Nation decided to sit down and ask ourselves certain things because the phenomenon who was Duterte was doing certain things that seemed to be in accordance with what we wanted, which was changes, reforms, and going after the right, what we'd call enemies of the state. So in the discussion, we said, what happens if we don't have Duterte? What do we do? And the common reaction was, magulo yan, no? Because papasok ang ganito, papasok yung ganyan, at magkakagulo dahil tatanggihan ng tao. Because yung tao talagang 80% of the people, based on all of the surveys, were for Duterte and they elected him. No?
Agreed.
So in that kind of situation, I said, there is a crisis because the one that was holding the republic together before there is so that there will not be chaos, no, was President Duterte. And he was the linchpin. If you pull that pin out,
may vacuum.
not only will there be a vacuum, there will be chaos. And chaos, based on our discussion, was probably the objective of these people in order for these groups, which we call the enemies of the state, will be able to do what they want. Who are they? The terrorists, ISIS, they can do what they want without a strong leader. The communists, the drug cartels, the political opposition or yellow tards.
Let's not forget the secessionists. Meron
Well,
din dyan.
nandun na din yung, isama mo na dun sa terrorist yung secessionists, no? Tapos yung mga yellow tards that were conspiring for a regime change, no? And doing everything to take out this leader. And of course, the CIA, who was
Ang Amerikano, kalaban natin.
paano? Gusto nilang gawin tayong launching pad against China. So sorry, this became what we enumerated to be the enemies of the state. And if we see it in context, sabi ko, it's chaos that they want. Because if there's chaos, they can do whatever they want. It is not to be able to take on leadership, but it's chaos. It's a condition. Then we likened it, let's say, to Libya or Afghanistan, where there is very weak or no leadership at all, where there is
Where's
really
tyranny
chaos.
now? Ngayon, tyranny na yan.
So I said, we don't want that to happen to our country. So what do? We put together an organization. And it just so happens that I was then talking to members, retired members of the military. And of course, there are other people that were going to be joining in. And that's how the CNG started. Not precisely only for the military, but for all citizens of the country, no, who did not want chaos as a condition. No?
It sounds like it should be the basic morality value of all Pinoys.
Exactly.
Should be, which is not necessarily the case.
Not necessarily the case because people's morals differ, right?
Harry, how would you add to that?
Well, what Bush was saying is something that initiated the move to form the Citizen National Guard. The Citizen National Guard, initially we thought, could be a paramilitary unit, but it is not. It is not. While we are comprised of retired military officers and men, reserve military officers and men, But really, the core concept is this. In a situation where we are facing a potential chaotic situation, the only force that can stop this is the entire country's population. We believe that the entire population are the keepers of the peace, the keepers of the republic, and they are supposed to be the guardians at the end of the day. And we thought that as citizens, they will become the national guard of the entire country. And so if you are a citizen, then automatically you become a member of the Citizen National Guard. But if you're a traitor, we will not register you.
Yeah.
What about that saying that many politicians are used to saying? Eh, bobo naman ang publiko eh. Paano naman yung kung bobo ang publiko mo?
Alam mo,
I mean, gaya ng sinasabi nila. Kaya nga, you have incompetent leaders or politicians, mayors, etc., down the line, who've sat there, whose families they've passed on to even the incompetent ones with barely no education, with poor values, who are probably even killers. And the people still vote them into office. They call them the stupidity. How about those that don't vote unless they're paid for? I know, I went through that in Muntinlupa, tumakbo ako.
Yeah.
Mas maraming, magkano bibigay mo sa akin bago kita iboto? Ganun ang labanan sa kalye. I mean, I hate to say it. Eh, well, sabi ko, alam mo, boss, pag ikaw binigyan ko, di pinapalitan ko lang yung demonyo gusto ko palitan. Di naging demonyo na naman ako. Wag na lang. Akin na lang pera ko, sabi ko.
Pero alam mo, that's why this particular period of the 2016 elections, where Duterte was brought into
Phenomenon
office,
nga.
was a phenomenon.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon.
This was those opponents of President Duterte were thinking like that. That kind of leadership, they were assuming that bobo yung tao. No?
That's the assumption.
But what happened was, despite all of the campaigns that they did,
Siya pananalo.
and saka yung dinadaya na siya, hindi pa nila madayan at talagang tutulak ng tao. I said, paano mo naman sasabihin bobo yung tao? No?
Siya nga ang phenomenon.
Precisely.
But only for one.
At sabi ng tao, ganito, that's all it's needed when you elect a president. No? Now, the president takes on that leadership. Tingnan mo ang tao, ha? Sabi natin, bobo, binoto ang isang hindi masyadong magaling, matalinong presidente. Eh, hindi pa nga nag-uumpisa, 400,000 na yung nag-surrender na drug addicts. No?
I think more pa. But go ahead. Yeah.
But eventually, by December, umabot na ng 1 million.
Oo,
no?
umabot na.
Alright? Okay. Tapos, ano pang ginagawa niya? Agad-agad, yung mga tiwali sa gobyerno, hindi pa nga mainit yung upuan na inupo nila, tinanggal na niya. On the basis of suspicion. All the way up to cabinet level. Di ba? Diretso, in a cabinet meeting, he says, you're fired. No? Okay. Now, sino bang hindi magkakagustong ganyan na presidente? No? Pero, who was bobo then? Tayo o yung tao? Sila ang nagsabi.
Sila ang pumili.
Di ba?
Okay, I lose the argument.
But you see, now this is what is important. You were referring to a little about religion or God or something earlier in your intro.
Di ba pag may kasama
But
ka,
you see,
mahirap eh.
ako, yung ganyan phenomenon, Harry, I attribute it to divine intervention din. No? And hindi natin akalain na itong mangyari. Ako, I never thought he'd be president. The way he was campaigning, the way he was threatening, the way talaga.
Nagmumura pa no?
Nagmumura pa. And kissing women, right? Sabi ko, paano mananalo
Ayaw
yan?
kasi maging presidente.
Pero tingnan mo siya. And there is a saying, God always chooses the most unlikely messengers. No? At yung hindi mo akalain na magiging leader, siya pa ang nagiging leader. Eh, palagi, tuwing meron tayong pinag-uusapan na, I don't want to go into religious, but it is there, meron mga apparitions, no? Mga musmus lang na bata nagkakaroon ng apparition. Pero yung mga pare, mga obispo, hindi pinapakitaan. Bakit? Di ba?
Hindi kasi holy eh.
Oh,
Then, holier than thou sila.
Oh. This is the thing. We must be able to think along those lines. And when we see that he is the duly elected president, no, we have to recognize that, no, and respect the people's will. And good enough that the people's will and intelligence are giving us this kind of a president. No? Tingnan yung three objectives ng CNG. Number one is defending the integrity of the sovereign Republic of the Philippines. Number two, protecting the population. And that includes drugs, no? Against drugs. And assuring a better future for future generations. Number three, supporting a duly elected president, who happens to be Rodrigo Duterte.
Popular.
But this is in that order of priority. Why? Country first, people next, the president third.
Protect your president.
In that order of priority, duly elected. No, no one contests the fact that he is elected by the Filipino people.
Ako, I have some issues with some people I find actually ridiculous. And ako, pag ganon, sinasagot ko na lang sa kanila, hindi kaya ridiculous ang position mo. And that position is, marami dyan sinasabi, hindi ko gusto si Duterte, gusto ko si Lenny. Dapat kay Lenny tayo. Hindi naman tumakbong presidente yun eh. Ang nanalo naman presidente. So anong gusto mo? Gusto mo, wag natin sundan ng demokrasya, wag natin sundan ng eleksyon, gawin natin si Lenny na lang, ipabagsak natin si Duterte. Matitigas ang ulo, hindi, mas magaling si Lenny. But even Lenny, who talks out openly as if she really wants to be president, di ba? Parang promotes the idea that gusto niya. When to think, and it is obvious, it seems to be an open fact, she actually lost the election. That's the saddest part. But then again, there are people who say, if you want the yellow tards to keep quiet and to follow and abide by the rules, the rule of law and the president, gawin natin si Bongbong Vice President. Mas takot sila kay Marcos eh. They'll probably join and join the Duterte group. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ikaw, Harry, ano take mo?
Well, yeah. Alam mo naman ang Pilipino, the Filipino, sorry to say, are always bystanders.
Oh, yun.
Okay? They enjoy sitting, watching, listening. So the challenge that I normally give to the people I talk to is, be participative. This is your country. This is where you were born. This is where you will die. You own the country. You have to protect the country. Defend it.
I agree. Kaya nga, pag may mga how about yung mga Pinoy sa Amerika, sa mga ibang bayan, tumakbo na kayo, naghanap na kayo ng ibang hanap buhay, di ba? Nag-dual citizenship pa kayo, tapos nakikialam pa kayo dito. Mali pa ang pagkapakialam. I don't understand.
Well, sa akin naman, yung mga nasa overseas, let's say nag-immigrate na sila sa Amerika. Well, it's a right of everybody to try to look for greener pastures, okay? And maybe things became too difficult for them here and kinuha sila ng pamilya nila doon. Wala tayong magagawa. Yun ang nangyari, okay? But the fact that they're there, does that mean that they lose their true nature of being Filipinos, no? And as a matter of fact, everybody that I talk to among my classmates that are still there in the United States, no, are quite envious, no? That for once, after so many decades,
No, may presidente tayo na tama.
may presidente tayong ganyan. Maski na, minuran ng presidente natin yung presidente nila. No? You know,
Yung si Obama,
yung si
hindi naman si
Obama.
Trump.
Hindi si Obama. At nagkaroon ng panindigan, no? Alam mo yung ganyan feeling, maski na nasa Amerika, gusto mo, matapang, pinanindigan niya ang bayan niya at ang mga mamamayan niya. When did we ever have somebody like that? The previous president was selling out the country, selling out the people. And he didn't seem to care.
But the one I get irate about are those na nag-ibang bayan na, tapos nakikialam pa, hindi naman alam kung ano talaga nangyayari dito. Tapos makikialam, madaldal pa sa social media. But gentlemen, we're going to have to take a short break. When we come back, we'll tell you how you can join, you can participate, and what is expected of you. Now, these numbers need to grow very simply because it is for the Pinoy, for the Filipino, for the country. So it's not enough you sit there, manood ka at, you know, whatever in front of the television. That's why the topic is not just the Citizen National Guard. The topic is join Citizen National Guard. Stay with us, we'll be right back.